Most men think women just want a nice guy. But the second you act like one, she actually loses interest in you. Obviously, women want men who are kind. But if kindness was all it took, you'd already be in a happy relationship. You're already somebody who's kind and caring. You treat women really well, right? And then you treat them so well, and then they end up with somebody who treats them really poorly. Ever had that where a woman ends up with somebody who is clearly beneath you, at the very least, if not in money, if not in status, at the very least in the way he treats her? You would treat her so well, and yet she goes for this guy who doesn't treat her well at all? Why is that? Well, I will now give you the explanation and a mature way to approach masculinity in a healthy, adjusting the hair, and loving way. My name's David Mason. I'm the international dating coach. I've helped men from 45, 46 countries from all around the world. I've worked with them to help them find the right girlfriend, wife. And what I can tell you, what I've learned is very few people actually understand masculinity. There's two voices on the internet, two themes, if you will. The one who just say, men are evil, you just gotta be kind. Well, yeah, but that's like saying you need to breathe air to grow muscle. Obviously, you need to breathe air to grow muscle, but that in and of itself won't grow the muscle. So what's the missing component? Well, there's the other side, who then is extremely, I don't even want to call it masculine, but unhealthy, dominant, controlling. And the problem with that is, Marshall Rosenberg, founder of nonviolent communication, who died many years ago, said, if you enter a foul compromise, I'm paraphrasing, that's Marcus phrasing, but if you enter an agreement as a man or as a woman in a relationship, if you do something you don't want to do, both people will end up paying for it. Both people will end up paying for it if you do something you don't want to do, and that's controlling. Controlling is, in essence, getting somebody to do something she didn't want to do, and that's not good for her or you. So what you want to do instead is you want to lead from a place of love and kindness, but clarity and confidence. What does leading even mean? Leading means saying, let's, making a suggestion with certainty. Being really masculine means bringing certainty to the relationship. It means saying, let's go here, let's do this. It doesn't mean forcing her to do something she doesn't want to do. You always want to be respectful. You always want to treat her kind. But you also want to say, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go somewhere. Let's. That's what leadership is, communicating a vision with certainty. Masculinity, a healthy, loving masculinity, not fake, nice guy masculinity, means having an opinion, not being afraid to disagree, being willing to walk away, offering challenges, being fun, playful, teasy, making her feel alive. On a first date, it's important that you communicate, or at the very least, sub-communicate these. If you can't even sub-communicate certainty and being determined and being willing to disagree and walk away, she'll walk away. In order to get a woman you're truly excited about, you can't be that excited about her. That's the weird part, right? Don't you ever have this where you just want a woman and you just want to be able to love her and treat her well and give her the world, but then you realize, well, there must be more to it? Well, yeah, there is more to it. It starts at an energetic level. You sub-communicate that you're not willing to walk away. You sub-communicate neediness. You sub-communicate an agenda. That's the problem with you in the past. By the way, you're probably a really kind guy, and you're not saying that you're lying to women or that you're being fake, but you're not nearly as honest as you think you could be. Or rather, you're not nearly as honest as you actually could be. Because there's a difference between being fake nice and genuinely being kind. If you're fake nice to get something, to get intimacy or her approval, or even just her love, it's not nice. If you're kind because you believe it's the right thing to do, regardless of the outcome, that hits different. Yes, you want to be able to treat her super kind, but you also want to be able to disagree. You want to be playful. You want to be teasy. You want to be able to look at her eyes and say, hey, no. You need to be able to set boundaries. You can't even set boundaries because you're coming from scarcity, because you're worried that you lose her, because you're not having enough dates with the right women. You're not using dating apps properly, Instagram. You're not approaching a person. You don't even have one quality date a week. How are you supposed to choose the right girlfriend or wife if you can't even have one quality date per week. You will end up being a shell of yourself. I was married to a woman who wasn't right for me, and she was a good person. She is a good person. We have a daughter together, so mother of my daughter. She's a good, kind person. We probably disagreed on a lot of things, and we definitely weren't compatible. The reason I ended up in that relationship is because I wasn't radically honest in the beginning. It's not like I lied. I didn't lie consciously. But when she started talking to me about the idea of feminism, I was like, yeah, fantastic, great idea. And listen, do I believe in treating women with utmost respect? Of course. Do I think everybody deserves love? Of course, 100%. Do I think this ideology has gone too far in a lot of ways and views men as the enemy? Yes, of course. If I had communicated my values way more radically honestly when I met my ex-wife, was it over 8 years ago? No, 8 years ago is when it ended. My goodness, it's a long time ago. Whenever I met her in Ireland, when I flew over to Ireland for a karate seminar, if I had communicated my values and my personality way more radically honestly, the conversation wouldn't have lasted for longer than 5 minutes, which would have been great. Now, I'm not one for regret because, sorry, I have to keep switching arms here because otherwise it gets heavy. Trained arms yesterday, or rather chest, because I don't really do arms, I just do pull-ups. Chest, today is another day for either pull-ups, but maybe I'm on a little bit of cut today, so let's see. Whether that's how you not run out of things to say. If you want to, I'll film another video on how not to run out of things to say. Very important thing, because that's also one thing you struggle with. You can't even keep a conversation with a woman because you run out of things to say if you actually attracted her. If you actually really like her, you run out of things to say. I might make a video after this, if I'm not burning in the sun too much, on how to never run out of things to say. The point was, if I had communicated more radically honestly, the relationship would have never happened. Again, the reason I'm saying I'm not one for regret is because then I wouldn't have been able to teach men from all around the world. I've now been coaching men for 6.5 years. I met Fernanda, my fiance, almost 6.5 years ago, a couple of months before. I started coaching a couple of months before I met Fernanda, actually. All of that wouldn't have happened. So I'm extremely grateful that it happened to me, but I want to protect you from unnecessary suffering. I don't want you to go through that. You don't have to become a dating coach. You just want a woman that you could share your life with, somebody you're physically attracted to, somebody with whom you have the same values, compatible personality, somebody who's intellectually stimulating. That is what you want, ultimately. And you can absolutely have it. But you need to get rid of the filters that you have in your communication. Say what you actually think. In a professional environment, in a business environment, you have to be professional in your communication. In a dating environment, you have to be effective in your communication, but not professional. There's a big difference. You have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to offend the wrong people. And offend doesn't mean being disrespectful. But if you share your opinions, for example, I had a client yesterday who told me, he's a business owner in New York, he told me he went on a date with a girl and he said, she asked him about Bad Bunny, about the halftime show. And he said, well, I really didn't like it. It's not my type of music at all. Just, I'm going to go to a concert and I really love him. What's wrong with Bad Bunny? I was like, well, first of all, if the entire depth of her personality amounts to going to a Bad Bunny concert, then maybe she isn't right for you. I'm not saying that everybody who goes to a Bad Bunny concert is not intelligent. That's not what I'm saying, obviously. And I actually like some of the songs. Some of the songs are really, really cool. Some of his music is great. But if you don't like it and say, well, I don't like it at all, you can say that. If she has a problem with that, then she's not right for you. And also, by the way, Fernanda and I, we don't listen to the same music. Fernanda loves Pink Floyd. I'm like, yeah, 1 or 2 of the songs are great, but I wouldn't listen to the rest of it. Do you think it impacts my relationship with Fernanda in any way, shape, or form that she likes Pink Floyd and I don't? No, that's insane. That's absolutely and utterly ridiculous. But with my ex-wife, I would have said, oh yeah, it's actually great. You change your opinions just to please her. That's exactly what I did. The second you confront it with a woman whose love you deeply desire, you change. You're inauthentic. You filter yourself. But the problem is, it's not even just, this is the messed up part, it's not even just that the right ones lose interest in you. The wrong ones stay interested in you. And then you can end up wasting 6 months, 2 months, 17 years of your life with somebody with whom you were never compatible with to begin with. So my invitation for you is, you have an impulse, a little voice that comes up that wants to tell you something. Comes up, you know, and then you suppress it. Oh, I couldn't possibly say this. How would you react to this? You have a little inkling that you should say something or not say something or disagree. Obviously, the first date has to be fun and playful. Don't make it into a debate, even if you're intellectually capable of doing so. If you start listening to those and you start expressing them way more honestly, you'll become way more attractive to the right people. And you'll start polarizing. And then you can become a leader and you can become masculine. And then you can be genuinely kind and genuinely nice, coming from a place of abundance. You're not kind because you want something from that person. The only thing you selfishly want on a date is the happiness of the mutual exchange of just spending time together. That's the only thing you should ever want from a friendship, by the way. That's why I don't like networking, because it's so transactional. The only thing I want from my friends, selfishly, is the happiness of spending time. That's it. Free in your expression, fun, connection, and seeing if you can help them in some way, shape, or form. If that's all you focus on, the joy of connection, and then be free in your expression, then you can be masculine, then you can lead in a maturely masculine way.